Back with another review, and today I'll be talking about and reviewing 10 Things I Hate About You. Interesting cast. I mean, you have Heath Ledger, Julia Stiles, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, David Krumholtz. He's in the cast. Larry Miller. And I enjoyed it. I mean, this is the same year, 1999. You know, I'm thinking about similar films that came out that year. I mean, this is the year of American Pie, which, if I think about it more, I actually prefer this over American Pie. I still like American Pie, but, you know, you can say that's more of a raunchier comedy. This is more of a comedy romance. But, like I said, I quite liked it. I mean, the plot, I'll just sort of go off the back here a little bit. I know cheating, but you have Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. He's new to the school. David Krumholtz, he's a student who is showing him around. And I enjoyed that scene, you know, those scenes with David Krumholtz. I thought, you know, he had good humor there. You know, showing the different crowds of people. You know, hey, don't talk to this crowd. Don't talk to that crowd. You know, this crowd is on the edge. And again, I thought David Krumholtz was good. David Krumholtz, I've seen before. He was in The Santa Claus and some other films. I think he was in the TV show Numbers. Never seen the show, but I've heard of the show. And like I said, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's new to the school, and he instantly falls for Bianca, who's played by Larissa Oleynik. And I remember her from that TV show back in the day, the Alex Mack. I can't... What... Is that the name of the show? The Secret World of Alex Mack. Okay. I was close. But I do remember her from that show. But she's in the film. Her character is Bianca. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character has a thing for her. And the problem is that she's forbidden to date. Because of her sister, who's played by Julia Stiles. Until she goes, you know, until she finds a date, Bianca can't go out. So in an attempt to solve this problem, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, his character singles out the only guy who could possibly be a match for Kate. This mysterious bad boy, played by Heath Ledger. And he sort of has a reputation, a bad boy type of reputation. And this was actually Heath Ledger's first American film. And so there's a lot of, you know, setting up here, you know, with relationships. You have this other character, Joey. I think the actor's name is Andrew Keegan. And he's sort of in the picture trying to score, you know, with one of the girls. And he's paying Heath Ledger's character to, you know, go out with Julia Stiles. And that's the plot, pretty much. And like I said, it's more of a comedy romance. The one thing that struck me, you know, watching this film, I mean, you kick off with the song from Bare Naked Ladies, you know, One Week, which is a great song. I think it was like a remix, but it's like from the get-go, it's like, okay, you know, this is a late 90s movie when you're opening up with Bare Naked Ladies. But, I mean, it's a good soundtrack. I mean, like American Pie had a good soundtrack. You know, this also has a good soundtrack. I mean, you have Sister Hazel in the soundtrack. I forgot the name of that song. Was it Winter's Bone or something like that? I thought, that's a good song. And so there's some good songs in the soundtrack. I mean, throughout the film that you hear. And, you know, the acting is not bad. I mean, Heath Ledger, it's his first American film. I mean, after this, he would do The Patriot and then Off to the Races. You know, his character, again, is sort of a bad boy type. And, you know, of course, you got the famous scene where he's in the stands, you know, singing that song, Can't Get My Eyes Off of You. And Heath Ledger was good. I mean, I have no problems with Heath Ledger. And it's interesting to see sort of the beginning of his career, because I guess you could say in a way this film really took off. I mean, for Heath Ledger, from here, took off his career. So it kind of kicked that off. But, you know, you also have Julia Stiles. I liked her. I like her as an actress. I thought she was good in the film. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, another good actor. Which later on, I mean, before this, he was in the show, Third Rock from the Sun and Angels in the Outfield, and later on, Inception. And, he's in the film, but it almost seems like his character's in the background. I know the focus is on Heath Ledger and, Julia Stiles, but it does seem like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character takes a back seat in the second half. Bianca, the sister, the actress that I mentioned from Alex Mack, I thought she was good. The one character I really didn't care about was the Joey character. I think played by Andrew Keegan. I didn't really care for his character that much, to be honest. But it's a good cast overall. And the humor, there's some moments throughout, like, I got some chuckles, from Larry Miller, who's the father of Julia Stiles, and the Bianca character. He has some good lines in the film. It's good to see Larry Miller. This teacher, Mr. Morgan, I thought he had some fun bits of dialogue where the character Joey's in class and he's like, Mr. Morgan, is there any chance you can get Kate to take her mind off before she comes to class? And Mr. Morgan's like, someday you're going to get bitch slapped and I'm not going to be there to stop it. And he has some fun lines like that, like, Julia Stiles is trying to, always has an opinion about something in class, and he's like, I know how difficult it must be for you to overcome all these years of upper middle class suburban oppression. It must be tough. But the next time you storm the PTA crusading for better lunch meat, or whatever it is you white girls complain about, ask them why they can't buy a book written by a black man. So, Mr. Morgan, that character, I wish he was in it more. And you also have Allison Janney as, like, the principal who's writing these, kind of sexy, dirty novels, or, she's a novelist, kind of maybe writing 50 Shades type of novels. So again, yeah, interesting cast in here. But, and like I said, getting back to the humor, I thought, there's some good chuckles, some good bits of dialogue, and, some fun dialogue from, I would say, more like the side characters. Again, it's more about the romance between Ledger and Julia Stiles, but there's also some humor over here, to the side. And, with David Krumholtz. Again, the only thing I would say, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, his character sort of takes a back seat, but he's still good in the film. Again, the humor worked. I thought it was witty at times throughout the film. And directed by Gil Junger. Now, Gil Junger, we're looking at my notes here. He directed Black Knight, for people who remember that Martin Lawrence comedy, which I've never seen, but I've heard about. But he's mostly directed a lot of TV work. He directed episodes of Ellen, the TV show Ellen back in the day, and Blossom, a lot of TV stuff, looking at his filmography. And I thought he did a good job here directing. I thought it was, developing some of these characters and, the humor, and it was witty at times. And yeah, I thought he had good direction here. And like I said, when you think about the same year of American Pie, I would say I prefer this a little bit more because, I still like American Pie, but that's more of like going into raunchy territory. This has some raunchiness, but not to the American Pie degree. But I can see why, okay, in the case of Heath Ledger, his potential, because he does have a charming personality, and his character does have, a charm, and you can see why he became a star. And it's sad what happened to Heath Ledger, just less than a decade later, off The Dark Knight, and then passing away. And talented actor, and again, it's sad to see what could have been, because he would have done he would have done more movies. And again, you can see the potential here, that this guy has the charm. He's a likable actor. He can play likable characters, or like in The Patriot, where he was really good. And so, I mean, again, it's sad to see, Heath Ledger, knowing what happened later, but he was great here. And so yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to mention. I mean, it's a comedy romance, but it has a good soundtrack. I mean, like I said, mention that again, has a good soundtrack. I thought it was, well directed, has a good cast. So yeah, that's it's a fun movie. I enjoyed it. For a first time watch, I enjoyed it. So that's my review of 10 Things I Hate About You. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. Again, it was a first time watch for me. I've always heard about the film, but just haven't seen it until now. So yeah, that's my review of that. Thank you for watching, and I think next up is 12 Monkeys. So stay tuned for that, and have a good day.